Ajay joins in to mark all the interesting bulk deals that happened yesterday. Ajay?
Well, that's correct, Aisha. This assumes importance because we've seen the mid-cap end of the market fall very sharply in the last couple of months. But two very marquee funds, one is Massachusetts Institute of Technology Endowment Fund and Duke University Fund, seem to be finding value in Indian mid-caps, especially small caps. One of them, of course, is a microfinance / NBFC space where MIT has actually picked up space. So in larger scheme of things, it may look small, but for an avid market watcher, there are a couple of interesting takeaways from this, that such marquee investors are finding value in Indian mid-caps right now, and such long-only blue-blooded funds are open to looking at high-quality names in the mid-cap side. In fact, I have with me right now Mr. H.P. Singh of Satin Credit, where the more significant bulk deal has actually happened. 8.5 lakh shares is what MIT fund has picked up from the open market in Satin Credit. Mr. Singh, thank you very much for joining us right now. I'm sure you are aware of the bulk deal which we are discussing on our radar, but also because the NBFC space, because of the crisis which happened in the sector, became a strict no-no for investors, and sharp contraction happened and a lot of worries. But now such a big fund is picking stake, so it does give out a message regarding the sector and the quality of companies Indian mid-caps have. What is your broad or initial reaction to such a fund checking in your company?
So I think, it's probably a reaffirmation of the faith, probably in the microfinance sector. That's for one. And in the larger scheme of things, I think, it's also a reaffirmation of the faith of the financial services sector in India. Why I say this is that probably for the microfinance institutions, post demonetization was probably not a good phase to for the sector as such. But I think, having gone ahead, if you look at the business model, if you look at the push in the rural space from financial services and especially for microfinance industry, it's a leap of faith. And the scale and the way I think, we probably have been growing reaffirms the faith of, whenever these kind of investors pick up equity in our stock, and that's a long-term reaffirmation of the faith,
I think your company has been growing phenomenally at a higher growth, and one section of the analysts actually look at it as a bit of a concern that probably same growth rates may not be replicated going ahead. What's your take on it? And before we wind up, give us a view on how costs for you have gone up in the last couple of months, and what's the outlook on the company growth from here on?
So, if we look at the cost, I think the cost have increased by about 0.5 basis points to about 1% in terms of our cost of funds. It actually entails that, we'll have to pass on this increase in cost of funds to our borrowers, which will not be very significant, but I think, still, since, we are getting cost of funds which probably are there and we have a margin cap of about 10%, we'll have to pass it on to our borrowers. That takes care of our cost of funds technically. But in terms of our growth, I think, we've been very cautious in the last 6 months or so, in terms of, our growth. We've actually grown by about 70% year on year, but this year we've slightly tapered our growth, looking at what the circumstances are emerging out to be. But still, I think in a 25 to a 30% growth rate, which is fairly stable and fairly cautious, will be done by us probably for March 19 as such.
All right, Mr. Singh, thank you very much for chatting with us. So, Aisha Tanveer, the stock of Satin Credit was higher by 19%, almost on the circuit yesterday. To keep it on the radar today as well, some action may not be ruled out today as well, now that the name is out.